Hello everybody. Well, we will show our basic turns. Gonzalo will show us our first turn, our first changing of edge of the beginners. This is the base turn for Argentina. Come on, Gonzalo, just show us the base turn. We focus this turn and we start the motions every time with the feet. We try to transfer to the beginners. Just start the movement with the feet and then increase the steering action to do the slide turn, slow and control. Everybody, what happened at the top is at the upper body is just a consequence of what happened in the foot, in the feet. That it happens in all our progression. I'm sorry I said Gonzalo, but it was Santiago. I'm sorry. Now Gonzalo will show us the base. The name is basic turn. That was the last one was base turn. This was basic turn. Here, all the skills are at the turn because we start to move flexion and extension, trying to transfer to teach to in this stage how they manage the pressure at the turns. It's a little bit more of angulation and a little bit of more speed. And here we try also to teach and start to link the turns. Now up there is Ismael and Franco. Ismael will show a big radius basic turn, just coming from this turn we saw with Santiago. We increase the speed and we increase the radius, working in all the skills we said before, starting with the foot, and the steering action works to slide and to keep the control of the speed. We are trying to start to focus in all the movements and coordination from the start to the end of the turn, and that trying to link, the turns one behind the other one. Here we understand we use the last movements of the turn, the flexion to absorb the turn, just to start the other turn. We try to take profit about the external forces. They are starting to work more and appear more in the speed, and try to manage the effort of the snowboarder. Here, Franco is showing our short radius turns. This is just to start to give skills to the clients, to the students, to do and change all the motion of the movements, the speed, the radius, and prepare him also to start to do the advanced turns, just improve the way how they do the movements. As we said, we try to focus everything coming from the feet. Thank you very much.
G'day everyone, welcome to Australia. I'm Kylie. I'll be commentating our riders today. APSI riders, Australian Professional Snow Sports Instructors. I think we are good to go.
I get it crump in here, I make it jump in here, front in here, we'll thump in here. Oh.
first rider up today is Jason. Jason comes to us with about 50 seasons experience. He's going to show us some mixed performances. So the first turns were some of our higher level short turns. He's going into some of our more intermediate level short turns. And now he is moving into some of our more lower end short turns. So we've got 5 performances in our performance model, 3 key performances. In the middle of that model, steering, carving and pure carving. We also value skidding. On the lower end, it has its value, and on the other end, railing, which also has its value, but we're looking for the 3 desired performances in the middle. Jason's moving now into more of a level 2 steered turn, so this is our steering performance. He's now moving more into our carve performance, so this is what we're looking at, level 3. And we'll start to move higher up on the edge there. It's a little bit hard at the bottom with the speed, but trying to show a bit more of a higher level carve performance for you at the end. Thank you, Jason. Up the top we've got John. John comes to us with over 20 seasons experience. John's going to be highlighting an up unweighted movement pattern that we have through all of our levels. It is important to note that this is not the only movement pattern we have in the APSI system, but we do use this movement pattern as a foundation through all of our levels. So he's showing you some long turns at the top, a nice up movement, extension movement to change the edge. In these short turns he's showing us in the middle, changing the edge, and then a nice flexion throughout to build that performance at the bottom of that turn. Stands up, recenters, finds his new edge, and then a nice progressive flexion throughout the turn to build that performance. Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, hello! Here we have the Swiss team represented by Isa, Sam and Gianni, who will show you the progression from a skidded basic turn to different short turn variations. They start with a skidded basic turn, which is based on movements from the lower part of their bodies. From there, they shorten their turn radius until they reach a basic short turn. Again, with steering through the feet with a lot of torsional twisting in the board and an inclination from nose to tail and back. After that, they will add some rotational movements into the mix, which will form the 2 variations. First, a pre- and co-rotation, followed by a co- and counter-rotation during the initiation. Again, with a inclination from nose to tail and back. Whoa, I think they found the jump! Well, we are snowboarders after all, and we won't miss the chance to have fun on the snowboard and share the stoke! So thanks for your attention, and if you are interested in our way of teaching technical understanding, we will welcome you all to join our workshop on Friday. Have a nice day!
Hey, good morning everybody from the Canadian Association of Snowboard Instructors. My name's Jeff and I'll be narrating our demonstrators this morning, James, Adam, Melon, and Dom, who will be demonstrating our intermediate level riding outcomes. In Canada, we use a 5-scale approach to achieve 3 outcomes, which we refer to as the core competencies. These 3 outcomes can be seen across all of these turns that these riders are demonstrating, and they include balancing along the length of the working edge to achieve grip from the snowboard, turning using the lower body for efficient steering movements, and maintaining a position that's both centered and mobile for stability and adaptability across varied terrain. And riders must manipulate and apply the skills of position and balance, pivot, edging, pressure, and timing and coordination to achieve these three key foundational outcomes. Thank you very much, demonstrators, James, Adam, Melon, and Dom.
Here you see the Dutch snowboard team. They show the progression run in reverse order. This is due to the angle of inclination that decreases as we are descending, making it more suitable for beginner turns. The short turns you see now are steered turns. In these turns we steer in by moving up, forward and inward. The steering phase out of the turn is done by a low movement where the weight is distributed over two legs to provide maximum grip. We use the turning principle, block turn, where your body hardly rotates in relation to the snowboard. This gives you the best balance in the entire turn. One step before the short turns are the steered basic turns. In these turns, the pace and rhythm is lower, in line with the current level of the rider. Also in these turns, we steer in by moving up, forward and inward. Since the speed is lower, the movements of the start and exit phase of the turn are also dosed. This gives the rider a little more time to maintain control. We also use the same turning principle, the block turn. The steering in the turn is done by a combination of moving downward and using the ankles, progressively edging the board. One more level down we have the slipped base turns you see now. At these turns the pace is even slower and the turns are not contiguous. However, we still see the upward, forward and inward movement that runs like a red thread through our methodology. The up movement has now become more of a stand-up movement to give the board time to turn into the fall line. We also see the turning principle of the block turn again. Because a novice boarder still has little edge feeling, there will be little action from the ankles, so that the board will slip more. At last we come to our first turn. This is the point and turn. As you can see, this is a turn that a learner makes on very flat terrain where the speed doesn't get too high as your board turns into the fall line. Because there is still little edge feeling and movement from the body, the board will still take a long time to go from side to side. By pointing, first to the valley, then to the sides of the piste, we stimulate the forward and inward movement without emphasizing it. Thanks for watching the Dutch snowboarders.
Good morning everyone, I'm David, I'm from Czech Republic and I'd like to represent you our snowboarder Pavla. She's just going down the hill, so please pay attention to the top of the demo slope. She will perform in the reverse order as well, so she will start more with dynamic snowboarding and at the bottom a bit slower. So now she's performing up unweighted drifted turn. It's a dynamic version of our basic drifted turn. It's used on steeper or variable terrain. Due to the dynamic movement up, we are able to re-edge faster and earlier than in basic drifted turn. Fluent movement down, building better stability while turning and bigger angle of edging. Short radius helps to keep the rhythm. We use this technique as an introduction to dynamic turns with vertical movements on our level 2 courses. At the lower section, Pavla will switch into basic drifted turn. So now we see that she's performing in low speed and low terrain. You can see initiation with shifting the weight in front of leg, on front leg. Board is getting flat and entering the fall line. After hitting the fall line, we're using a rotation an inclination to finish the turn and getting back centered. Main skill of this turn is dynamic balance. This is the first experience with turning on our level 1. Thank you for your attention. Applause for Pavla.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Felipe Friedli. I'm the president of the Chilean Ski and Snowboard Instructor Association. This morning, we're going to show you our progression in technical development. Our association was founded in 1983, but we started doing our snowboard courses in the early 2000s. Our technical development line is structured by some key points on skill development. On this run, our team will show 3 different kinds of turns, where we will be able to observe how different range of movements and dynamics will affect the board's interaction with the snow. On our first turn, this will be the basic turn, we are introducing movements to enhance foot independence and exploration of this range of movements as the rider center of mass will play and move in and out of the board on a gentle motion. As we can see, we try to make every movement as natural as possible, trying to keep focus in very refined movements and try to make these movements have their required consequence on our board and the interaction with the snow. In the middle of the course, we can see our second key point on our skill development line. This will be our intermediate turn. As the speed is increased and the movement development and skills are honed, this aims on the technical development of flexion and extension movements and the range of this, as the rider will be able to use these movements to create and explore different conditions and different shape and size of turns. As a rider keep automatizing movements and developing skills, the focus will turn into aiming to maintain a natural stance through the control of rotary movements and upper or lower body separation, while coordination and flow will stay as an important theme for an effective and clean style. Thank you.
Kia ora everyone, my name is Richie from SBINZ. We're here representing with our ski division NZSIA. But today we have Guy, Richie and Claire up on the demo slope. You can see them up there halfway. Now they've come down halfway to show our basic demonstrations for our level 1 certification. So as you can see, We have Guy coming down now, or is that Claire? She's coming down now doing what's called a skidded turn demonstration. Now this demonstration is really important that we show the right speed for someone who's learning how to turn to keep up with us and follow the tracks that we'd leave in the snow as an instructor. Keeping this demonstration achievable, which means skidded, slow spaced, edge change in the foreline, being really patient, controlling that speed on both toe side and heel side. In our level 1 demonstration, this is done in both forwards and switch direction, just so that we can show versatility in our riding to show a nice clean picture. Now you can see the speed starting to increase. Now this is to help develop this turn, showing an earlier edge change before the foreline so that we can start to enjoy more edging as she makes her way through, again, a turn that shows speed control, both heel side and toe side. Nice work, Claire. Thanks very much. Looking good. All right, nice little ollie at the bottom. Freestyle's encouraged at our level 1 certification, and it's super important that versatility for freestyle, edging, and skidded turn demonstrations are evident right from the beginning. All right, second up we have Rich. Cruising down. Now he's showing our level 2 demonstration. You can see that this is a lot faster than that basic edging task that Claire did earlier. He's showing more edge angle, more speed, edge change definitely across the foreline, showing like a palm width track in the snow. Now he's coming into the jump because that's what we like to do. A jump similar to this shows aerial awareness. So what he did, he showed retraction in the legs, a grab to get the board in the air and show confidence over a small park feature. Here you can see 180s. 180s in both directions, forwards and switch, front side and back side, evenly off both feet is the goal for this 180 demonstration at level 2 standard. So that basic freestyle across the foreline is super key. Enjoying a little bit of park skills outside of the park before we then take them into the park for those spins. Cheers, Rich. Nice moves, mate. Good to see you got your jacket back after some lost luggage. All right, dropping in next, we've got Guy McCulley. Guy is now going to start to show more of our level 2 versatility tasks. Okay, so level 2, we want to see that the rider can take all those skills that we play with in both level 1 and level 2 and blend them into a free run. So this is done on a groom slope, typically blue, showing a little bit of aerial awareness, and then coming in to show more of his sort of creativity and style, mix of turn size and shape, cruising down the hill. You know, this is the sort of picture we want the public to watch so that they go, yeah, I want to take a lesson with those guys. They look like they're having a bit of fun, both directions, a little bit of versatility. Thanks very much, Guy. Nice retraction in those ollies. That's what it's all about. I'll see you guys in the next run to show you the level 3 demonstrations. Thanks so much for watching. We've got a clinic starting at 10 o'clock, and we'll look forward to you guys in those clinics today and tomorrow. Cheers, everyone.
Good morning, this is Austria. My name is Jürgen and Benji is on the slope. He is doing some drift turns with up and waiting. A little movement because it's steeper so that we are able to shorten the radius. His front shoulder is always moving inward to the turn so that your shoulder is above the edge in the snow. During the steering phase, he's going smoothly down to build up pressure, because we think if you have more pressure, you need less movement, up and waiting. Now he's slowly coming to the flat part. He's doing some down and waiting. He's shortened the radius by doing a fast down motion, moving inward and forward. We teach this because we think that it's very important for bumps and also for powder snow that they know the movement down and waiting. Now he's coming into the lower section. I think he's feeling a little bit sick today. Normally, he can't go along a jump. Now he's coming to drift turn basic. He's just changed his weight a little bit to the first leg and moving inward. Thank you, Benji. Now on, Michi is showing us some short turns for steeper terrain up to red and black slopes. His upper body is following the snowboard, so the radius is a little bit bigger. He is controlling the speed while he is following his snowboard. Also here, the shoulder is moving inward to the turn. In the lower section, he's getting more dynamic and his upper body is showing forward. We are talking about an active position from the upper body. To react fast, it's very important that your upper body is not following the snowboard. Yeah, thanks to Michi. Danny is coming down. He's doing carving turns, up and waiting for the steeper part. To have a little bit more control. Very dynamic movement upward. Active position from the upper body. The upper body is always facing the riding direction. In the lower part, he's doing down and waiting. Upper body is still in the same movement, and we try to correct the angle with our shoulders. Thank you, Danny.